reality of whatever is being examined. Put these words together and and Vipassana Bhavana means the cultivation of the mind toward the aim of seeing in a special way that leads to insight and full understanding. In Vipassana meditation, we cultivate this special way of seeing life. We train ourselves to see reality exactly as it is. And we call this special mode of perception mindfulness. The process of mindfulness is really quite different from what we usually do. We usually do not look into what is actually there in front of us. We see life through a screen of thoughts and concepts. We mistake those mental objects for reality. We get so caught up in this endless thought stream that reality flows by unnoticed. We spend our time engrossed in activity, caught up in an eternal pursuit of pleasure and gratification, and eternal flight from pain and unpleasantness. We spend all of our energies trying to make ourselves feel better, trying to bury our fears, endlessly seeking security. Meanwhile, the world of real experience flows by, untouched and untasted. In Vipassana meditation, we train ourselves to ignore the constant impulses to be more comfortable, and we dive into reality instead. The irony of it is that real peace comes only when you stop chasing it. Another catch 22. When you relax your driving desire for comfort, real fulfillment arises. When you drop your hectic pursuit of gratification, the real beauty of life comes out. When you seek to know reality without illusion, complete with all its pain and danger, real freedom and security will be yours. This is not a doctrine we are trying to drill into you. It is an observable reality, something you can and should see for yourself. Buddhism is 2,500 years old, and any thought system of such vintage has time to develop layers and layers of doctrine and ritual. Nevertheless, the fundamental attitude of Buddhism is intensely empirical and anti authoritarian. Gautama the Buddha was a highly unorthodox individual and a real anti traditionalist. He did not offer his teaching as a set of dogmas, but rather as a set of propositions for each individual to investigate for him or herself. His invitation to one and all was come and see. One of the things he said to his followers was please place no head above your own. By this he meant don't just accept somebody else's word. See for yourself. We want you to apply this attitude to every word you read in this manual. We are not making statements that you should accept merely because we are authorities in the field. Blind faith has nothing to do with this. These are experiential realities. Learn to adjust your mode of perception according to instructions given in the book, and you will see for yourself. That and only that will provide grounds for your faith. Essentially, insight meditation is a practice of investigative personal discovery. Having said this, we will present here a very short synopsis of some of the key points of Buddhist philosophy. We make no attempt to be thorough, since that has been quite nicely done in many other books. But since this material is essential to understanding Vipassana, some mention must be made. From the Buddhist point of view, we human beings live in a very peculiar fashion. We view impermanent things as permanent, though everything is changing all around us. The process of change is constant and eternal. Even as you read these words, your body is aging, but you pay no attention to that. The book in your hand is decaying. The print is fading and the pages are becoming brittle. The walls around you are aging. The molecules within those walls are vibrating at an enormous rate, and everything is shifting, going to pieces, and slowly dissolving. You pay no attention to that either. Then one day you look around you. Your skin is wrinkled and your joints ache. The book is a yellowed, faded thing, and the building is falling apart. So you pine for your lost youth, cry when your possessions are gone. Where does this pain come from? It comes from your own inattention. You fail to look closely at life. You fail to observe the constant, constantly shifting flow of the world as it passed by. You set up a collection of mental constructions, me, the book, the building, and you assumed that they were solid, real entities. You assumed that they would endure forever. They never do. But now you can tune into the constant change. You can learn to perceive your life as an ever flowing movement. You can learn to see the continuous flow of all conditioned things. You can. It's just a matter of time and training. Our human perceptual habits are remarkably stupid in some ways. We tune out 99% of all the sensory stimuli we actually receive, and we solidify the remainder into discrete mental objects. Then we react to those mental objects in programmed, habitual ways. An example: there you are, sitting alone in the stillness of a peaceful night. A dog barks in the distance, which in itself is neither good nor bad. Up out of the sea of silence come surging waves of sonic vibration. You start to hear the lovely complex patterns, and they are tuned into scintillating electronic stimulations within the nervous system. The process should be used as an experience of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. We humans tend to ignore it totally. Instead, we solidify that perception into a mental object. We paste a mental picture on it and launch into a series of emotional and conceptual reactions to it. There is that dog again. He's always barking at night. What a nuisance. Every night he's a real bother. Somebody should do something. Maybe I should call a cop. No, a dog catcher. I'll call the pound. No, maybe I'll just write a nasty letter to the guy who owns a dog. No, too much trouble. I'll just get earplugs. These are just perceptual mental habits. You learn to respond this way as a child by copying the perceptual habits of those around you. These perceptual responses are not inherent in the structure of the nervous system. The circuits are there, but this is not only the only way that our mental machinery can be used. That which has been learned can be unlearned. The first step is to realize what you're doing as you're doing it, to stand back and quietly watch. Would somebody else like to take over?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to go next?
May I?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. Just a moment. Let me mute myself.
Uh, yeah, sorry, I missed. Yeah. From the Buddhist perspective, we have a backward view of life. We look at what is actually the cause of suffering and see it as happiness. The cause of suffering is that desire aversion syndrome that we spoke of earlier. Up pops a perception. It could be anything: an attractive woman, a handsome guy, a speedboat, the aroma of baking bread, a truck tailgating you, anything. Whatever it is, the very next thing we do is to react to the stimulus with a feeling about it. For example, take worry. We worry a lot. Worry itself is the problem. Worry is a process, it has steps. Anxiety is not just the state of existence, but a procedure. What you have got to do is to look at the very beginning of that procedure. Those initial stages before the process has built up a head of stream. The very first link of the worry chain is the grasping rejection reaction. As soon as the phenomena pops into the mind, we try mentally to grab onto it or push it away. That sets the worry response in motion. Luckily, there is a handy little tool called Vipassana meditation that you can use to short circuit the whole mechanism. Vipassana meditation teaches us how to scrutinize our own perceptual process with great precision. We learn to watch the arising of thought and the perception with a feeling of serene detachment. We learn to view our own reactions to stimuli with calmness and clarity. We begin to see ourselves reacting without getting caught up in the reactions themselves. The obsessive nature of thought slowly dies. We can still get married, we can still get out of the path of the truck, but we don't need to go through hell over either one. This escape from the obsessive nature of thought procedure produces a whole new view of reality. It is complete paradigm shift, a total change in the perceptual mechanism. It brings with it the bliss of emancipation from obsessions. Because of these advantages, Buddhism views this way of looking at things as a correct view of life. Buddhism texts call it seeing the things as they really are. Vipassana meditation is a set of training procedures that gradually open us to this new view of reality as it truly is. Along with the new reality goes a new view of that most central aspect of reality, me. A close inspection reveals that we have done the same thing to me that we have done to all other perceptions. We have taken a flowing vortex of thoughts, feelings, and sensations and solidified that into a mental construct. Then we have stuck a label onto it, me. Forever after, we treat it as if it were a static and enduring entity. We view it as a thing separate from all other things. We pinch ourselves off from the rest of of that process of eternal change that is the universe, and then we grieve over how lonely we feel. We ignore our inherent connectedness to all other beings and decide that I have to get more for me. Then we marvel at how greedy and insensitive beings are. And on it goes. Every evil deed, every example of heartlessness in the world stems directly from this false sense of me as distinct from everything else. If you explore the illusion of that one concept, your whole universe changes. Don't expect to be able to do this overnight, though. You spent your whole life building up that concept, reinforcing it with every thought, word, and deed over all those years. It is not going to evaporate instantly, but it will pass if you give it enough time and attention. Vipassana meditation is a process by which that concept is dissolved. Little by little, you chip away at it just by observing it. The I concept is a process. It is something we are constantly doing. With Vipassana, we learn to see that we are doing it, when we are doing it, and how we are doing it. Then that mindset moves and fades away, like a cloud passing through a clear sky. We are left in a state where we can decide to not, uh, we are left in a state where we can decide to do it or not, whichever seems appropriate to the situation. The compulsiveness is gone. Now we have a choice. These are all major insights. Each one is a deep, reaching understanding of one of the fundamental issues of human existence. They do not occur quickly, nor without effort, but the payoff is big. They lead to a total transformation of your life. Every second of your existence thereafter is changed. The meditator who pushes all the way down this track achieves perfect mental health, a pure love for all that lives, and complete cessation of suffering. That is no small goal, but you don't have to go the whole way to reap benefits. The benefits start right away and they pile up over the years. It's a cumulative function. The more you sit, the more you learn about the real nature of your own existence. The more hours you spend in meditation, the greater your ability to calmly observe every impulse and intention, thought and emotion, just as it arises in the mind. You progress to liberation. Your progress to liberation is measured in hours on the cushion, and you can stop doing the process anytime you feel you have had enough. There is no mandating rule, but your own desire to see the true quality of life, to enhance your own existence and that of others. Vipassana meditation is inherently experiential, not theoretical. In the practice of meditation, you become sensitive to the actual experience of living, to how things actually feel. You do not sit around developing sublime thoughts about living. You live. Vipassana meditation, more than anything else, is learning to live. Should I stop here or should I continue? Maybe I'll continue. Attitude. If anyone else is willing to take over, maybe please interrupt me, otherwise I'll continue. Attitude. Within the last century, Western science has made a startling discovery. We are part of the world we view. The very process of our observation changes the things we observe. For example, an electron is an extremely tiny item. It cannot be viewed without instrumentation, and that apparatus dictates what the observer will see. If you look at an electron in one particular way, it appears to be a particle, a hard little ball that bounces around in a nice straight path. When you view it in another way, an electron appears to be a waveform glowing and wiggling all over the place with nothing solid about it at all. An electron is an event more than a thing, and the observer participates in that event by the very act of his or her observation. There is no way to avoid this interaction. Eastern science has recognized this basic principle for a very long time. The mind itself is a set of events, and you participate in those events every time you look inward. Meditation is participatory observation. What you are looking at responds to the process of looking. In this case, you are looking at, in this case, what you are looking at is you, and what you see depends on how you look. Thus, the process of meditation is extremely delicate, and the result depends absolutely on the state of mind of the meditator. The following attitudes are essential to success in practice. Most of them have already been presented, but we bring them together again here as a series of rules for application. Number one, don't expect anything. Just sit back and see what happens. Treat the whole thing as an experiment. Take an active interest in the test itself, but don't get distracted by your expectations about the result. For that matter, don't be anxious for any result whatsoever. Let the meditation move along at its own speed and in its own direction. Let the meditation teach you. Meditative awareness seeks to see reality exactly as it is, whether that corresponds to our expectation or not. It does not require a temporary suspension of all our preconceptions and ideas. We must store our images, opinions, and interpretations out of the way for the duration of the session. Otherwise, we will stumble over them. Number two, don't strain. Don't force anything or make grand, exaggerated efforts. Meditation is not aggressive. There is no place or need for violent striving. Just let your effort be relaxed and steady. Number three, don't rush. There is no hurry. So take your time. Settle yourself on a cushion and sit as though you have the whole day. Anything really valuable takes time to develop. Patience, patience, patience. Number three, don't cling to anything and don't reject anything. Rag and dvesh. Let come what comes and accommodate yourself to that. Whatever it is. If good mental image arises, that is fine. If bad mental image arises, that is fine as well. Look on all of it as equal and make yourself comfortable with whatever happens. Don't fight with what you experience. Just observe it all mindfully. Number five, let go. Learn to flow with all the changes that come up. Loosen up and relax. Number six, accept everything that arises. Accept your feelings, even the ones you wish you did not have. Accept your experiences, even the ones you hate. Don't condemn yourself for having human flaws and failings. Learn to see all the phenomena in the mind as being perfectly natural and understandable. Next page, please. Try to exercise a disinterested acceptance at all times with respect to everything you experience. Number seven, be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You may not be perfect, but you are all you have got to work with. The process of becoming who you will be begins first with the total acceptance of who you are. Number eight, investigate yourself. Question everything. Take nothing for granted. Don't believe anything because it sounds wise and pious. and some holy man said it. See for yourself. That does not mean that you should be cynical, impudent, or irreverent. It means you should be empirical. Subject all statements to the actual test of your own experience and let the results be your guide to truth. Insight meditation evolves out of an inner longing to wake up to what is real and to gain liberating insight into the true structure of existence. The entire practice hinges upon this desire to be awake to the truth. Without it, the practice is superficial. View all problems as challenges. Number 9. View all problems as challenges. Look upon negativities that arise as opportunities to learn and to grow. Don't run from them. Condemn yourself or bury your burden in saintly silence. You have a problem? Great. More uh, grist for the mill. Rejoice, dive in, and investigate. Number 10. Don't ponder. You don't need to figure everything out. Discursive thinking won't free you from the trap. Discursive thinking won't free you from the trap. In meditation, the mind is purified naturally by mindfulness, by wordless, bare attention. Habitual deliberation is not necessary to eliminate these things that are keeping you in bondage. All that is necessary is a clear, non conceptual perception of what they are and how they work. That alone is sufficient to dissolve them. Concepts and reasoning just get in the way. Don't think, see. Number 11. Don't dwell upon contrasts. Differences do exist between people, but dwelling upon them is a dangerous process. Unless carefully handled, this leads directly to egotism. Ordinary human thinking is full of greed, jealousy, and pride. A man seeing another man on the street may immediately think he is better looking than I am. The instant result is envy or shame. A girl seeing another girl may think I am prettier than she is. This instantly results in pride. This sort of comparison is a mental habit and it leads directly to ill feeling of one sort or another. Greed, envy, pride, jealousy, or hatred. It is an unskillful mental state, but we all do it all the time. We compare our looks with others, our success, accomplishments, wealth, possessions, or IQ, and for all it leads to is same state estrangement, barriers between people, and ill feeling. The meditator's job is to cancel this unskillful habit by examining it thoroughly and then replacing it with another, rather than noticing the differences between oneself and others. The meditator trains him or herself to notice the similarities. She centers her attention on those factors that are universal to all life, things that are closer to others. Then her comparisons, if any, lead to feelings of kinship rather than of estrangement. Breathing is a universal process. All vertebrates breathe in essentially the same manner. All living things exchange gases with their environment in some way or the other. This is one of the reasons that breathing has been chosen as a focus of meditation. The meditator is advised to explore the process of his or her own breathing as a vehicle for realizing our inherent connectedness with the rest of the life. This does not mean that we shut our eyes to the differences around us. Differences do exist. It means simply that we de emphasize contrasts and emphasize the universal factors that we have in common. The recommended procedure is as follows. When we as meditators perceive any sensory object, we are not to dwell upon it in ordinary, egoistic way. We should rather examine the very process of perception itself. We should watch what that object does to our senses and our perception. We should watch the feelings that arise and the mental activities that follow. We should note the challenges that occur in our own consciousness as a result. In watching all these phenomena, we must be aware of the universality of what we are seeing. The initial perception will spark pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feelings. That is a universal phenomenon occurring in the minds of others, just as it is. just as it does in our own. And we should see that clearly. By following these feelings, various reactions may arise. We may feel greed, lust, or jealousy. We may feel fear, worry, restlessness, or boredom. These reactions are also universal. We should simply note them and then generalize. We should realize that these reactions are normal, human responses, and can arise in anybody. The practice of this style of comparison may feel forced and artificial at first, but it is no less natural than what we ordinarily do. It is merely unfamiliar. With practice, this habit pattern replaces our normal habit of egoistic comparison and feels far more natural in the long run. We become very understanding people as a result. We no longer get upset by the failings of others. We progress towards harmony with all life.
Yeah, we stop here today.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
sure.
It was
Yeah,
very
we'll,
beautiful to listen to Saurabh and Shilpa today.
awesome,
It's
awesome read.
very,
They
yeah.
both of them, yeah. Yesterday also, Deepika ji, yeah. They always make book really
And
interesting.
all you are like from the meditative background already, so that really makes a difference to hear from you.
Yeah. Anyone wants to uh, add their takeaways from today's session? We have 9 minutes to go. We like to keep this session just exact 1 hour. Anyone?
I was personally able to um, relate to my actual Vipassana experience, and
Mm-hmm.
I had read this book a few times earlier, but before I had gone to the Vipassana. But now
Mm-hmm.
it felt more you know, deeper than what I had read earlier. And yeah, obviously, I was telling to Mansi this morning itself that this book itself is very meditative, and if you go through this audiobook of this book on Audible, that same narrator
Mm-hmm.
actually has narrated a lot of Krishna handbooks. And if you listen to those audiobooks at like point eight
Some.
x, it's a meditation in itself, and it's really
Yeah.
calming and soothing to read, reread, and for forever we can reread these books. It's simply a very tranquil activity in itself.
Yes, I remember that. I've actually felt the same. I haven't listened to the audiobook, but I felt like even listening to both of you today was kind of meditative for me. So I enjoyed listening today. And yeah, the words were so profound by the author also, like so many things, so true actually, and such a simple language. It's very easy to understand actually. So I could connect with I connected with that part where what Saurabh was reading. I missed some part while Shilpa was reading because I got a call. But I was listening to Saurabh more. So I could relate with that part where he shared like when in our mind we are constantly comparing or things like that. So when we are in this mindfulness, I think we at least get aware of these things. Otherwise, all this is happening so naturally as a default thing, gossiping, complaining, things like that with other people within ourselves, where we're talking in our heads. So all of that. So yeah, that awareness I could like relate to in this reading of today's. So when we are aware, it's like the first step where we change, where we can change or want to change things.
Awesome, Mansi. Thanks for sharing your takeaways from this one. Saurabh, please do share a link for that YouTube. So definitely, it is listening to audio is going to be a meditative experience. Yeah. For me, as at the beginning of this session, I mentioned to you, that is what we observe in many reading sessions. There is kind of synchronicity. Um, he talk about the quantum physics. Basically, when you look at the things changes. The atoms, the behavior of that atom changes. This is what the slit experience or quantum physics says. So after this session, I'm going to share a video. While watching the video, please observe your thoughts. The way you observe, it is all about that this thing, and then read the paragraph which I'll share. It is exactly sync with what author says in today's book. So it resonates with that. The second is as Dow principle, the very first principle. When you label something, you name something, that thing is no more there. And this is again a statement from Jiddu Krishnamurti. I really love it. Like, and I practice that daily. If you label something, like if there is a pigeon, when I say a pigeon, the thing which you are seeing, the bird which you are seeing is no more there. You generalize that this thing, that pigeon, or that squirrel, or that robin. So you need to look at that particular pigeon or a rose as an individual, unique being in the world. And it totally brings a total different experience altogether when I started seeing the things in this way, which I really love about today's session. That is what he says. When you practice this mindfulness, you come very close to the reality. So I really love that lines actually. Yeah, that is from my end. Deepaji, Shilpaji, Vandanaji. Anyone wants to share?
Yes, yes. Off late, I have become bit irregular with meditation. Can't add right now, Milinji. Yes, so I'm just here to listen today. Thank you.
Milinji, I remember reading about this. Even I think in in the other book, I think the four agreements also, or something, some similar thing. I remember reading in some other book, and I could relate with it. Like I think in four agreements only we read about it, like the domestication thing that he was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So very
That
true.
word that word I really loved from that book, Four Agreement. The domestication. That is exactly the way we learn from our childhood, from the society. We gathered all this label. Really, this particular statement changed me after that. That don't label anything. So after that, I started. Means, yes, I'm in garden now. When I see a robin, then I look at as that is a bird, a robin, an individual, unique. His behavior, the way he behaves, and all that. Not I just don't label him as a robin. Yes, mental process goes beyond it because that is how we program. But when you see that dog or that squirrel as an individual, then there is a real fun begins. And now, yeah, that's really sync with me. So that's why I want to sharing this with you again and again. Don't label anything. Just enjoy, the pet's behavior and whatever you see. Don't label. Labeling actually reduces our experience. Yeah, simple.
Um,
It's basically
Deepaji, you just, sorry, you were talking, Mansi? Go ahead.
no. Go on, go on. I was just adding to what Melindy said. It's like I just wanted to say, like, it's like basically observing and being like curious like a child. That's it. Nothing else. Yeah,
Yeah,
Shilpa, you just
absolutely.
said it.
I think it was Deepaji who said that, she hasn't been meditating uh,
Vandanaji, yeah.
regularly, or Vandanaji. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to say this, I also jump on and off the meditation wagon, if I may say so. But and it's okay. And now I am doing Ho'oponopono meditation in the mornings, and it feels so much better. This is something completely new, so much far away from Vipassana. But at the same time, it gives me I'm focused on one thing. That's it, and that's my day, and um, I'm just enjoying the experience of uh, just being, and not in the process of doing. So I really found it so insightful when Milanji at the beginning mentioned, and used the analogy of the timetable, the big timetables at the train stations or at the airports, where you only look at, focus where you want to go. At the same time, there is no aim or no uh, goal of meditation. It's not even of simply focusing. It's just simply being, simply being a human. That's it. Away from all the roles that we all play. That's all that I wanted to add.
Yes, very true.
Hello, could you hear me? There is some internet.
Yes, yes, Milanji.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you, Milanji.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What Shilpa ji just shared about Honopono technique. Yeah. So when Shilpa ji, just addition to that, when you say those four statements, um, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Yeah. If you read that book of Zero Limit by the same author, it's the same. But this all different books which we read, it all at the end connects together. You need to be mindful while doing that practice. The author used that practice everywhere, in a hospital, wherever he goes, in a restaurant, and everywhere. So yeah, so when you use that text in Honopono, yes, we need to be mindful that moment, for that instant, and say thanks. So yeah, all these practices at the end meets at the same point, and that point is, yes, there is no goal. You need to be just be. And only one thing for Vandana, when you mention that, oh, sometimes I do the practice and all that. This is what our life is all about. But when you say that, when you are not able to do the practice, that is exactly the time where you realize the benefits of meditation, that you are missing something beautiful
Yes,
in your life. So
yes,
it is not
yes.
at all, don't yeah, people some, yeah, people, I
Yeah,
used to feel guilt and all that. Don't
spot on.
feel with guilt, absolutely no. It is showing that you are very interested and very passionate about this. Just start your practice. Every day is a new. That is how I do. Yes, sometimes you miss it, but that's fine. Just go ahead with your practice. 1 or 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 45 minutes, in that way. That is the beauty, isn't it? Anyone else want to share? Everyone is on mute. Hello.
Just want to say thank you, Milanji.
Thank you, thank you. And yes, yeah. So we'll close the session in 1 minute. I will share the video. I'm just again repeating this thing. Watch that video very very careful. That video will show you what the observer is, how the observation works. Okay, and that is the beauty of that video. It is all synchronicity. I seen that video day before yesterday, and today author explained the same concept in one paragraph. So this is how things are all coming together. I'm sitting with you all and reading such a beautiful book. So definitely we'll pick up the books around the same topics which I really love and passionate about, and definitely with your your participation. So Saurabh, do share that link. Definitely, I want to dive into the audio part as well. Yeah. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. See you tomorrow, same time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay blessed. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.